Hey, football fans, welcome back to another episode of Lions Latest, the show where we gather around to talk about the greatest team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. I'm your host, Bryan Hanes, and we have some rumors and some other good stuff to get into today before this week's first game. So let's just jump straight into the video. Starting off, we are talking about the final game prediction of the season. So after all these game predictions, we did about two a video. Now we have come down to the last game of the season, and I thought it was no more fitting to do the last game prediction before our first game of the regular season. So let's talk about it. It's at the Bears and is the final game of the regular season. After a long, hard-fought season, hopefully, this final matchup between Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell just seems kind of fitting. This will be the result in the what we see of a whole season of work, development, build up from our old offensive coordinator going to the enemy team. And while the first matchup is going to be important, obviously, this one just feels like it's going to be for all the marbles, if you ask me. Um, yeah, there's a lot riding on this one, guys, and I think it's definitely going to be a closer game than people think. But let's look at what is going to be really important to watch during this game. First, let's look at Jahmyr Gibbs' usage and yardage. In 2024, he was a breakout star with 1,412 rushing yards, 16 rushing touchdowns, plus a franchise record of 20 total touchdowns. With the Bears ranked among the league's worst in run defense, 26th in YPC, 30th in DVOA, their last Thanksgiving showdown, Detroit's ground game could be the deciding factor. I meant to say that looking at the matchup we had with them at Thanksgiving, just running is going to be really important against this team, especially with their talented secondary crew. But I think the big matchup here to look for, while we mentioned that secondary crew, is going to be JMO versus Tyreek Stevenson. Tyreek Stevenson is effective man-to-man guy. He uses his speed to stay with wide receivers and disrupt routes, and his ability to locate the ball and make disruptions in the passing game is pretty unreal. He's pretty good. However, he did experience a sophomore slump last season with a significant mental error that cost the team a game. I think we all know what that one was. And I think that he will have a bounce back year, though. I think that this season he's going to completely shake off whatever happened last year, and he is going to be that lockdown presence we know he can be. I think JMO is going to really have to fight to get stuff going with this one. I think the passing game is going to be hard to get going for us. But running wise, we should be able to set up play action pretty well, and that could lead to some huge breakout plays. I think we're just going to have to do a good job watching Caleb Williams, because the big question for him is, of course, is there mental fatigue from last year still? Does he come out more assured? Is his passing going to be less hesitant, more confident in his game? I'm not sure. I think with Ben Johnson, obviously, he's a lot. He's hype. He's like, okay, I got someone who I know can win. Because last year, obviously, Eberflus was not the solution, but it's going to really come down to Caleb Williams and what he can run with this offense. I think our passing defense is just as good, and I think our running defense is far better. So I think defensively we should be fine. We just got to make sure Caleb Williams doesn't do what most running quarterbacks like to do to us, and that's just make us look silly. I think Caleb Williams hasn't really gotten the chance to do what he did in college because last year he didn't have that great O-line, but we're going to have to really watch it this year because they made so many great developments in the offseason. I would not want the Bears to be another team I have to worry about with a scrambling quarterback. I'm just saying. But that is that on that game. I think honestly, overall, when you think about it, the Bears are going to be a better team by the end of this season, but I think the Lions should still come out on top. Granted, everything is fine. We're not missing all of our key players, yada yada yada, right? I think the Lions will take this one pretty substantially. I want to say it's by about a 2-3 score lead, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this game. Did I miss something to look at for this matchup, or did I cover all my bases pretty well here? Let me know what you guys think. That's going to take us into our second topic today, where there's some roster moves that prove some of those rumors we talked about with how many players in each position we keep on the team right with this move. So on Thursday, today, the Lions announced two transactions to their practice squad, officially signing quarterback CJ Beathard and releasing edge rusher Isaac Ukwu. In a corresponding move, earlier in the week, Dan Campbell explained that their team was looking for an experienced quarterback to fill the quarterback 3 position. We knew about that. That's what they usually like to go for, the more experienced guys who can run an offense quickly and effectively if they need him to because they're not new to the NFL. And on Wednesday, it was reported that the Lions were planning to sign Bethard to their practice squad to fill their third quarterback role. With the move now becoming official, Bethard provides the Lions with veteran insurance at the quarterback position, serving as they backup to starter Jared Goff and established quarterback to Kyle Allen. So let's quickly look at this guy's stats. So in college, let's start with NFL. In all of the NFL, his career totals, he has 3,886 passing yards, 19 passing touchdowns, 14 interceptions. He's got about a 60.4 completion percentage, and he's played 33 games. So not great. When you're having almost as many interceptions as touchdowns, that's not a great stat. But he obviously has limited playing time, so I'm not going to knock on him that hard. I think he'll be all right, right? Of course, he's going to be fine. He's got starting experience. He's got experience playing in the NFL, and I think if we do somehow get down to a third string quarterback, that is all we are really asking of this guy, to just be able to run the offense and not throw too many picks. So I'm not totally upset with this. It's cool. It's what we wanted. It's what the team was looking for, and I will trust. At Iowa, though, he passed for 5,562 yards, 40 touchdowns, and had a record of 21-7 starting. So not bad. Drafted third round, 104th overall in 2017 by the 49ers. Cool. Welcome to the team, CJ. Glad to have you. But with that also happening, that means Ukwu is gone. So he signed with the Lions as a free agent in 2024, and while he spent the majority of the season on the practice squad, he was elevated for 2 games during the season, and during those 2 games, he was able to record 3 tackles. He signed a future contract in the offseason, battled for roster spots through camp, but unfortunately was wavered down during cutouts and was re-signed to the practice squad. But with no Ukwu on the team anymore, the Lions have just 5 healthy defensive ends on the roster in Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, reserve Al-Qadim Muhammad, alongside with Tyrese Wheat, who we claimed off the Cowboys during waivers. And finally, former pass rusher from the Vikings, Andre Carter, is signed to the practice squad. And then we know Josh Pascal, of course, is gone with a non-football related injury, should miss about 4 games of the season, which is whatever, garbage. But what are you going to do? That's what it's looking like right now, though, guys. Yeah, we got our quarterback 3. I guess that gives me some peace of mind. I guess that lets me relax a little bit. It's not someone who makes me, jump up and get excited about, but it's someone we obviously needed on the squad, just to have that stability and to make sure nothing goes terribly wrong. And I'll take it. I obviously still think we should start looking for guys who are young right now in college, maybe see how they develop, but just saying. That's going to take us to our third topic of the day. Let me know what you guys think about those moves. Anything too significant? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. We are going to be talking about a trade rumor involving a talented wide receiver too. So this one kind of got me thinking, and I don't necessarily hate this one, guys, but let me know. So it's J-Mo to the Chargers. That's what it is. J-Mo went off last season, posting 1,001 yards, 7 touchdowns, 58 catches. Also recorded second in the NFL with 17.3 yards per reception. And his breakout, we can officially say, happened this past season. But this also means his trade stock has gone way up. The Lions picked up his 5th-year option, locking in a $15.49 million salary for 2026. And that's fine for now. I'm cool with that. I love having J-Mo on the team. But they've already paid St. Brown. They still need to pay Hutchinson. And there's other guys they still need to look for. But those 2 are the big fish, right? If Williams puts together another strong season like he did last season, or even gets better, his market value could push towards 25 to 30 million annually. And that's really hard to justify when we're already paying our wide receiver 1 a wide receiver 1 salary. Especially, I just think the history of players like that, you don't necessarily see too many contracts for 2 wide receivers looking that high. But for the Chargers, Quentin Johnson still hasn't proven he can consistently separate. Trey Harris is an unsigned rookie. Brandon Rice is no longer there, I believe. But Keandre, Lambert Smith, Jalen Rager, they're all fighting for snaps. There's no clear wide receiver 2 for the Chargers right now, in my opinion. I think Ladd McConkey's got it easy at 1, but who's taking number 2? I don't think it's going to be Keenan Allen either. In 2020, rookie year with healthy. Why? Well, first of all, why J-Mo? Why do the Chargers need a guy like J-Mo? Okay, I think when Justin Herbert has a guy who can take a deep ball, Justin Herbert is like infinitely times better. Obviously, having the middle guy, the short distance guy, the slot guy, it's going to be huge. But a deep ball guy with Justin Herbert's arm is ridiculous. Let's look at 2020, his rookie year with a healthy Mike Williams. What does Herbert? Why does Herbert need a deep ball? He ranked fifth in the NFL in deep passing yards, passes of 20 plus yards through the air, threw 12 passing touchdowns on deep balls, tied for third most, and completed 41% of deep attempts above league average, which was 38%. So he's extremely efficient with a deep ball guy. In 2021, the peak of Mike Williams season, Mike Williams topped 1,100 yards with a large chunk, 38% of his yards coming on passes of 15 plus yards downfield. Herbert also finished top 10 in EPA plays on deep throws and posted his best adjusted yards per attempt at 7.6. With Williams pulling safeties down deep, Herbert also looked more comfortable kind of spreading apart a layered defense, kind of figuring it out a lot more. It wasn't too clumped up. He was able to find other receivers better that way. So if you get a guy like JMO, Justin Herbert now, you're going to allow Clyde McConkey to even get more productive, which is just going to be crazy. I think this is why they should try to bite at a guy like JMO, who they know we're not necessarily excited to pay that much and maybe looking for a way out, despite us saying we're not looking to trade JMO. But I don't think the Chargers have too much time to wait. I'm waiting on Harris to develop. Johnston hasn't shown he's ready if he's ever going to be ready, to be fair. Williams gives them speed, field stretching ability, the upside they currently lack with their offense. And for Justin Herbert, he'd be playing with the best deep ball receiver he's had yet. He could help transform Herbert's career instantly with how strong that guy's throwing arm is. I can see a trade like this, Jameson Williams for a late first rounder and a third/fourth rounder, something like that, or even JMO for an early second rounder slash a late first, early second, and a young bench player with a high upside, high ceiling right now. I can see that happening. That is something I could see happening. Maybe defensive. Maybe we go for one of their defensive guys, or maybe we just pick up another one of their receivers and we see what he does. I'm not sure, but I think definitely we could get a good draft stock out of this trade. Of course, for now, though, as we know, the Lions have made it very clear they're not exploring a trade, so this all remains speculative, obviously, but it is within the realm of realism based on recent trade estimates and the Lions knowing that they have more people to trade or more people to pay than just one guy who's already behind somebody else. Just saying, we could get a lot of value out of a guy like Jameson Williams. And I'm not saying I want to trade him. I love having JMO on the team. I think he's such a good offensive weapon, especially with a pocket passer like Goff. That's why we have him, right? But no, we could definitely get some value out of him if the time comes where we know we can't pay the guy what he is asking, because he is getting so much better as each year goes on. That's what I think, though. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Is that just an absolute no, we keep JMO, or is this something maybe we should look for and try to get some more value out of if possible? Let me know what you guys think. We're going to take it to our fourth and final topic today, where we are discussing some of your lovely comments again, starting with Norma Himerer. I think that's how you pronounce that. It says, good news concerning Tesla. One would have thought the sky was falling. Don't get me wrong. I love the kid and I love his backstory too. As far as Z, if Detroit signs him to a 1-year deal, that would not affect our deals coming up with our current players, our own draft picks, but who knows what kind of deal Z wants and the real reasons Brad and Dan haven't signed him. Fun to speculate. Yeah, no. I agree with you here, Norma. I think there's something going on here with Z that we don't know. And I have another comment here that kind of goes into it. Superman left a comment. I didn't include it here, but he was basically like, what do they know that we don't know? Why is no other team picking up Za'Darius Smith? It's not just us. There are other teams that could use him and are just not great. Like, I don't know what's going on. So that's actually a good point, Norma. Thank you so much for your comment. It is fun to speculate. And then, yes, Isaac Tesla being healthy. Thank God. Brent DeWitt said, I would love to see Z Smith come back because he'd be another rotational piece, and I just don't trust Davenport to stay healthy. Don't see it happening, barring an injury. Also, after week 1, any team that signs him doesn't have to guarantee him as much money, but funny if that's what Brad's waiting for. Lol. Yeah, no, and this, again, I think it might be partially because of that, but then any team could do it. I don't see why a team with more room in their cap space, who maybe needs another defensive end player, maybe just another, like you said, rotational player, doesn't just go grab him now before we get even the chance to do that. I think there is something maybe that we don't know about Smith that is affecting his position on teams right now. But yeah, I think with Davenport's situation, we got to just see what happens, and we can get mad when we get to that bridge and we have to cross it. But thank you for your comment, Brent, to it. And finally, Navy Glass says, "Hey, Packer fan here. I like Detroit, but they are not going to do anything this year because they have a new DC and OC. That's a huge learning curve, and it takes a year or two to really get into it. But I like Goff. I like him since he came in the league, and I hope he eventually gets a ring." Well, thank you, Navy Glass, for hoping Goff gets a ring, because that means my team gets a ring. But I think you're wrong here. I don't think two new coordinators are going to flip this team completely inside out and we're going to be a completely new team. I don't think that's going to be the case. You guys in the comments, let this guy know how you felt about his take here. Holy, I thought there was a glitch on my computer for a second, how many replies there were to this comment. But one comment said it best. Eagles won a Super Bowl with two new coordinators. So, kind of pokes a hole in your logic. But I appreciate the good sentiment to Jared Goff, and especially from a Packers fan, I'll always take it, appreciate it. But the Pack's going down this year, and the Detroit Lions are not taking a step back because we lost a couple of guys. I promise you that. But thank you for your comment nonetheless, Navy Glass. I do appreciate it. And with that being said, we are out of time here today. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Lions Latest. If you made it to this point in the video, tell me your opinions on the trade rumor. Yay, nay, possibility. What would you like to get out of the trade? Did I not ask for enough? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a single video here. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week. Enjoy the first Lions game.